Students, I'm trying something new here as we move forward. Anytime we have a worksheet, I think I'm going to try to guide you through it a little bit. And to start off, first thing I wanted to take a look to show you was in Canvas. First of all, when I send out the office hours and I tell you that I'm in the chat room and stuff, what I wanted you to notice is if I go, let's say, in my Algebra 2 class, and then notice off to the side, and mine will look a little different than yours, but notice off to the side I've got a chat feature. Yours will be on your iPad, wherever you see the assignment feature, all that kind of stuff. But if I click on chat, for example, you can see that it's just a chat room, and all you have to do is type in your question right here and just hit send. And you can ask me anything, any question at any point in time during that 2-hour window. I'm always got it open right now, and ready to go and ready to answer questions. That was the first thing I wanted to show you. These videos that I'm recording will be available always out on the calendar. One of the things I will show you is if we go out there, if you notice, now this is what my calendar looks like, but if I go into geometry, for example, and I went to lesson 913, you can see that there's the actual lesson, and then here's my explanation that you're going to be able to do. I will put that exact same thing out in Algebra 2 as well. So if you take a look here's section 9.4 that we're going to be doing tomorrow. And there is the worksheet, there's the answer key, and I'll also have the explanation in there. Okay, so just as a heads up to you on that one. Then the reason I'm doing this is because of the 9.4 worksheet is the next worksheet that's coming up. So here is the actual worksheet itself. No, I don't want to do that. Let me get out of there. So here's the actual worksheet. So real quickly, 9-4 with an arithmetic series. An arithmetic series is just the sum of an arithmetic sequence. So instead of finding the 50th term in an arithmetic sequence, now I might want to find the sum of the first 50 terms of an arithmetic sequence. Okay, and that's called a series. So that's the first part. One of the things you're going to get noticed today is what's called a summation notation. It's also called sigma notation is another one. It's this kind of E looking thing. It's a Greek symbol. It's a capital E basically. It's for sigma. If you take a look at that. So that some of the problems you'll see that, and we'll talk about that in a second. Other problems you're going to want to use this formula. Okay, S sub n stands for the sum of the first n number of terms. N is however many terms you're taking the sum of. A sub 1 is the value of the first term that you're going to take the sum of. And A sub n is the value of the last term that you're going to take the sum of. Okay? So if you take a look at this first example, what this symbol right here tells you to do is the symbol tells you to take the sum. The bottom number tells you which one you're going to start with. So we're going to start with the second term, and the top number tells you that we're going to end with the fourth term. So what this actually says is we're going to take the sum of the second through fourth terms of this sequence. Okay? And this formula right here is the arithmetic sequence formula you're going to use to find the second term, third term, and fourth term. So if it's really simple, you could just go through and you could just take 2, for example, plug it in, which is what they did right here, and got 1 as an answer. Take 3, plug it in, which is what they did right here, got an answer. 4, plugged it in, got an answer, and then just add up those 3 terms. You can just go from there. You don't have to worry about using any other formulas. Just plug in. If there's only 4, 5, 6 terms, if you decide, plug it in, get the answers, and add them all up. Okay? So the sum of this actual series is -3. Okay? There's the second term, third term, and fourth term added up. However, if you take a look at the next example, now we're taking the sum of the first 15 terms. So you may not want to actually write out 15 terms and then have to add them all up. That's where this formula would come into play. So what you need to know is you need to know how many terms are you taking the sum of. That's what this n is. You need to know what's the value of the first term you're going to take the sum of, and this is the value of the last term that you're going to take the sum of. So if you notice, the first thing they found is, let me find a sub 1. Let's find the value of the first term. So they took 1 and they plugged it into this formula right here. When they did that, they got 3. So there's my a sub 1. Then I needed to find, since I'm finding the sum of the first 15, this is the 15th term then. So we take 15 and we plug it in to this formula. That's what they're doing right here, is plugging in 15, got an answer of 59. Okay? And now they're putting it all together in this sum right here. So they're taking the sum, we're going to add up 15 terms. Here's the value of the first one. 59 is the value of the last one. Get an answer. So the sum of the first 15 is 465. Okay? So that's a different way of where you can use a formula rather than just finding each term individually and adding them all up. Okay? If we take a look at the back side, it's kind of the exact same idea. The only difference that they're doing is, as you look through this, they're just giving you kind of a story problem format instead. Okay? And you got to kind of filter through the ideas of what do you need to know, what are you trying to find. But this one is fairly straightforward. They do a pretty good job of explaining it step by step here. Okay? And then there's a couple of problems for you to do at the end. Okay? So that's the general idea. The main thing I want you to know is an arithmetic series is just the sum of an arithmetic sequence. Okay? The second thing I want you to know is the idea here of what does this symbol actually tell you to do? And that is the sum of however many terms that you're dealing with. Okay? That's about it for the main ideas of this lesson. Again, I can't stress to you enough, if you have any questions, join me on the chat room during office hours. Otherwise, send me an email if you need to. If we need to schedule a one-on-one WebEx meeting, that's perfectly fine as well. So just let me know, and please communicate. Okay, please make sure you're checking your answers as you go through and you do these. That's why I'm sending you the answers. But please make sure you show your work, because I'm giving you the answers. I can't just accept the answers as your work, because I'm giving you those. So you need to show your work so I can see your process and make sure you're understanding things. Okay. Whenever completed with any worksheet, as usual, just upload it to Canvas and I'll make sure I get it, and we'll get it from there. Okay? Hope everybody's doing okay, and we will talk to you again next week with 9-5.